Chapter 10. It was a good journey despite the fact that my overpacked car forced our knees up under our chins. It was a good opportunity to spend time with Emma. We went to the pub for dinner and I caught up with her life. She drove all the way, and the only hiccup was the unintentional tour through Pitt Street, our control over the tom-tom not yet complete. But it was a journey full of hope, nevertheless. Surely the odds were too good for failure at 80%. Julia survived her journey alone. She had been anxious about travelling by herself. How little we knew at that time, how many things would be for the last time. She was never again able to fly alone. But she was smiling as she hobbled along and waved goodbye to Emma. I breathed a sigh of relief when the tom-tom delivered us to the charity house door and thanked my colleague for her wonderful gift as my mantra relaxed on my lips. There was time before check-in to explore the local shops, and we soon discovered that we had arrived in a suburb populated by immigrants, mainly Indians, complete with Indian stores. Clean and tidy, a place full of people creating a new life, with unreadable titles in the video store, and our favourite cuisine served at the curry shop. Julia's signature dish was an African curry, but we both loved Indian food. So many positives, and a comfortable bed, but she was nervous when we settled into our room with the thought of her first appointment. So many questions still unanswered. How did the trial work? How sick will you feel? Will we have a bed next week? The bed was our priority, and there wasn't a lot of money. What remained of Julia's fundraising money, I wanted her to keep for the long road ahead. We had surprisingly good luck and found a place just near the Indian spice shop, near the rail line, so she could travel in some distant future that we imagined. How long to take a lease for when you don't know what lies at the end? The real estate agent put it on hold, but we had until the afternoon. We waited forever in the bowels of the building where the cancer clinic is situated. An attractive room, but filled with cancer patients. And it took a very long time to measure and poke and fill in the forms, and then we were told there was no room on the trial. But they made amends and made a phone call and delivered an appointment time for the day after tomorrow, back from where we had come. There is nothing to do but to respond to the steps needed to take you there. Cancel the flat and the rest of the charity house accommodation and find the motel that had been booked for our second night and tuck her in for the night. The tom-tom set for our exit from the city, the alarm for 4:30 in the hopes that I could clear the city before it woke. It was a small sealed room without a breath of fresh air. I had the most terrible nightmare, a dream in which I lay paralysed in my bed as an intruder stood in the bathroom metres from our shared bed. I could never again consider using up our credit there for a night's accommodation. We set off in the dense fog for our 11-hour drive with no time to make the appointment in Brisbane if we broke our journey with an overnight stay. She didn't feel able to fly on her own. There was not a complaint from her on the entire journey, and sitting hurt, the melanomas on her back causing pain. Along the way, she was disturbed by the discovery of a melanoma that had appeared on her right thigh. I felt as if she was disintegrating before my very eyes. But it was too early to abandon hope, and the road lay stretched before me endlessly. She found the sweets that I had in the glove box, left over from my journey down, and queried why I had left them untouched. I hadn't eaten any because I didn't like the thought of eating them in front of her when she was avoiding sugar. She unwrapped one and handed it to me with a gracious smile. By chance, we pulled up for petrol at a dilapidated service station that sold hand-blown glass, and there was a piece that was just right for her house. A roller coaster of a ride, that journey, but there was the thought of getting home. We are only an hour and a half from home and making good time when a young driver decided to ignore all the road warnings and ran right up the back of the car behind me as we waited at the stop sign held by the traffic controller. "Just keep going, Mum," she said as we inspected the damage. And I'm glad I did, because when we got home and opened the boot, it would not shut again. Her father called in the aid of a panel-beating friend, and we were ready for Brisbane the following day.